Cruise ship companies have virtually no revenue coming in. Basically, right now, they are in full-on survival mode.
It's very much unknown what will happen with airlines in the future, what the demand will really be.
And the rebound in the travel industry is being threatened right now as we see coronavirus cases spiking across the country.
Carnival, Royal Caribbean, and Norwegian have been hit hard, not surprisingly, by the coronavirus.
Back to Yahoo Finance's All Market Summit Extra Road to Recovery. I'm Brian Sozzi. Joining me now is Carnival Corp CEO Arnold Donald. Arnold, always good to speak with you. Thanks for taking some time today. Listen, you and I talked back in May, and the quote for me that you left me with, Carnival, you are fighting for the survival of your company. What's that fight look like since we last talked?
Well, Brian, first of all, good to be with you. I'm a little envious from the previous interview. They're on the beach, so
tough life.
That's getting close to the water, so we like that. But anyway, it's good to be with you. We at that time we were fighting for survival, and obviously the whole travel and tourism industry has been, devastated by the reactions to COVID-19 globally. Having said that, we've done the things we needed to do. I'm so proud of our people. I'm so grateful to our guests who have reached out with just, pouring their hearts out to our people in support, for our crew, for our shoreside people, and for the brands they love, and all of our travel agent partners who are struggling through all this with us. But we've been successful. We've been able to raise capital to give us a nice runway, even if we have an extended pause with no revenue. We've done a number of things in terms of getting our crew home. We've had to repatriate. We've repatriated almost 80,000 crew members with 1,000 or 2 left over the past few months. And that was a daunting task because borders were closed, evolving restrictions and regulations as it happened, no flights available. Even when we had charters, sometimes we had crew on a charter and at the last minute, the country would close its border or whatever, and we'd have to reevaluate the whole thing. But we're able to repatriate nearly 80,000 crew and get them home safely. And we're marching now through the pause to get geared up, and we're excited. There's an opportunity. It looks like we'll be able to cruise starting in Germany in August. So that's a positive sign. It's a little bitty step. It's our AIDA brand, maybe 3 ships, cruises to nowhere, out to the sea for 3 or 4 days, and then back to a drivable port in Germany. And then so we're crossing the bridges and dotting the I's and crossing the T's and doing what we need to do.
I definitely want to touch upon Europe and then return to sailing there. But walk us through some of the steps you have taken to save the company. A lot of big numbers that have been, no pun intended, floating around. What exactly have you done?
Well, again, first of all, always our highest responsibility, and therefore our top priorities always are compliance, environmental protection, and the health, safety, and well-being of our guests, of our crew, and of the people and the places we touch. And those are always our top responsibilities. So on that front, we had to get guests home, over 260,000 of them. We had to get our crew, as I mentioned previously, we had to get them home. And now we have to maintain our ships with minimum manning, but I have to do that in a manner where, of course, we're honoring our obligations and responsibilities with regards to compliance and environmental protection. So minimum manning of ships. We've had to get rid of some assets. Those ships are expensive to maintain. A number of ships were less efficient. In a few years, they probably would have been out of service anyway, but right now there's no opportunity for them to generate revenue. So we've gotten rid of, or plan to get rid of over 13 ships so far, which we announced on the last earnings call. And so we've had to do that, and we had to raise capital. So we've done multiple raises: senior secured debt, convertibles, common equity, second lien debt, commercial paper, and continuing to work on delaying, deferring maturities, especially on new builds, delaying new build ships. It's been a tremendous amount of work that's gone on. And it's amazing how people have been able to do most of this virtually, including the raising of nearly $12 billion in capital. And so it's just an amazing thing to see everybody come together and pull together and do what we needed to do.
Arnold, part of sailing down the road to recovery is part of our theme for this conference, is the return to sailing. Have you had any serious discussions with the CDC. They came out recently and they extended their no sale order from July 24th to September 30th. So when does the U.S. start up again? And you mentioned Germany. What about Italy and some of those other European territories?
Well, as you mentioned, the CDC did issue a no sale order. The industry had previously volunteered through pretty much the same time period to continue to pause with operations here in the U.S. We all stand together, not just our cruise industry, but all of us stand together to mitigate the spread of COVID-19. So to predict when it would be appropriate, you have to look at COVID-19 and society at large. So when society is comfortable socially gathering, and in doing so, you're not seeing surges and hospitalizations or whatever related to COVID-19. When you're at that point, you can begin to think about, true social gathering, and then you can begin to think about cruise. When is that going to happen in the U.S.? I wish I had that crystal ball. Could it happen soon? Sure. 3 months ago, 2.5 months ago, who would have thought Germany would be looking at opening borders and starting cruising? That wouldn't have been the case 2 months ago. But yet they are. Why? Because they're at a point right now where they have very low community spread. So they have mitigation of spread in Germany, lower incidences. They have plenty of hospital capacity and so on, and are not seeing massive surges in hospitalizations or anything. And they feel comfortable that there are protocols that they have in place in society in general that allow them to return to some sort of normal. And so we'll see how that plays out. It's just the beginning. For us, our priority is public health. So we're going to operate in the interest of public health. In Germany, where the incident is low, we got a number of protocols that we worked out with the German government to ensure that we are as safe, if not safer, than similar type of social activities shoreside. We would do the same here in the U.S. Italy has been looking at it, as has Spain. Those conversations have been going strong too. As you know, Brian, the virus moved from east to west. And so some of those countries had surges before the U.S. did. So we'll see how it all plays out. But there's so much yet to learn, still and understand about COVID-19. And that's why, if I can add one more comment, that's why we're having, in conjunction with the World Travel and Tourism Council, a COVID Science Summit, and you can go to it, covidsciencesummit.com, July 28th, made up of world-renowned panelists, medical experts, and scientists from around the world. We're going to talk about the science of COVID, everything from transmission, epidemiology, detection, prevention, therapies, vaccines, and how to live with it today. And so everyone's invited. It's no charge. It's a virtual. We've got thousands of people already signed up, and we invite everyone. And if you want to sign up, is once again, covidsciencesummit.com, Carnival Corporation and World Travel and Tourism Council together.
All right, we'll have to leave it there for now. Carnival Corp CEO Arnold Donald, always good to speak with you, and good luck down the path on the road to recovery. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Brian.